All right, so I'm going to do some factoring review for you. In chapter 6, we have to do a lot of factoring before we even begin our problems. And so if you don't know how to factor, then that's going to mess you up this chapter. So here we go. I'm going to do everything on the left-hand side, and then you're going to do everything on the right-hand side. So I'll try to make it quick here in the video. So this is a trinomial, this first one, x squared plus 7x minus 18. So you know the first thing we always do is try to think of some things that multiply to this number here on the end, 18. So I got 9 and 2. I got 6 and 3, and of course 18 and 1. Now with these pairs here, I have no number in the front to worry about besides the 1. So I just had to ask myself which of these pairs adds or subtracts to 7. So 9 and 2 is what I'm going to go with. All right, so I put x and 9. X and 2, doesn't matter which is where, but when I look at it, I'm getting a 2x here. I'm getting a 9x in the middle, so I do want a positive 9 minus 2 to make a positive 7. So plus 9 minus 2, and I check. Yes, that's negative 18 as well, so I'm finished. All right, second problem here. So the second problem is kind of like the first one, except you notice these things are huge. These variables are not that huge, I guess. But anyway, there's a GCF here. 2, 16, and 24 all divide by 2, and they all have at least 2 x's that I could take away. So I'm going to divide that stuff out first. So 2x squared is coming out. And from there, I would have an x squared left over for this first term. 16 divided by 2, so I get negative 8. I'd have 1x left. And then finally on the end, 24 divided by 2 is 12, so plus 12. And the x squareds are gone. So that 2x squared, it just sits there out front. And then you think about, again, like we did earlier, what multiplies to 12? Well, I got 4 times 3, 6 times 2, 12 times 1. 6 and 2, this is a very simple thing because I have no number in front of my x squared. So I'm going to use 6 and 2 to make 8. So x and 6, x and 2. To get a positive 12, I would need a double negative to also get a negative 8 as well. So you can see here, negative 2x, negative 6x, that's get me my negative 8. So everything on the right-hand column is kind of like a match of what's being done on the left. So if you want to, you could also stop the video every time I do a problem on the left. You could stop it and do the problem on the right. All right, here, this one should be hopefully pretty easy. You recognize, I hope, perfect squares. When you have perfect squares, it has to be a subtraction in the middle, or else you can't factor it. If it's addition, it's a trick and you cannot factor. So here you just split them up. 49, you're trying to think of square roots, basically. Put 7x here, 7x there. 9 and 9 for 81. And always, always, you need one plus and one minus, because to get this to be a negative 81, you need a plus and a minus. And what's happening here, this is negative 63x. The inside is positive 63x, which they cancel out because you don't see any x's in your original problem. All right, now we get to the more difficult problems down here. The more difficult problems have a leading coefficient of something other than 1, like the other ones did, and I can't take a GCF out, so I'm stuck with that 3x squared in front. So my job here is to first put 3x and x, because that makes 3x squared, and now I still think of things that make 12. You know, I got 4 times 3, 6 and 2, and 12 and 1. But no longer do any of those make 5. I can't use that trick anymore because now this is a harder problem. So I have to put numbers in these two spots that multiply to 12, but at the same time, when I check the outside and the inside, it has to add up to 5. So let's try one. So if I use 6 and 2, so remember, I cannot put a 6 in this first slot. I have to put the 6 in the back and a 2 there, because this 3 up front, 3 goes into 6, so I'm not allowed to put anything in the back that has something in common with the front. All right, so let's try it. I got 3x times 6, that's 18x, and the middle is 2x. Well, 18 and 2 will not get me the 5 that I want in the middle. So we are wrong, and I cannot switch those around, so I'm finished with 6 and 2. All right, so let's try 3 and 4. So it's also helpful that, you know, I can't put 3 anywhere I want to. I cannot put 3 here. I have to put 4 in the front and 3 in the back. So let's try it. I got 9x and 4x. That seems good because I need negative 5. So positive 4 minus 9. There I go. All right, next problem. So you also get some more complicated leading coefficients. You see this one's 8. So earlier when I had 3x squared, 3x times x was an easy choice. But realize now, 8x squared, well, geez, you know, I could do 8x times x, or I could do 4 times 2 makes 8. So that's the answer, but I'm just going to do that way. So 4x times 2x. So makes 8x squared. In the back, I'm still looking at things that make 9. 3 times 3. 9 times 1. So let's try 3 and 3, because if 3 and 3 doesn't work, when I switch them, nothing changes. So it'll be an easy thing to try first, 3 and 3. All right, so here I'm getting 12x. Here I'm getting 6x. That is no way going to get me to 38. So let's try 9 and 1. All right, so hopefully you'll start to see 9. If I put 9 in the back here, that's going to allow me to get a really big number, 36x. I put 1 here, that'll get me my 2x. So you start to get better at it. You know, you've done this before, so maybe now you're a little bit better at it, and you can start to see those things ahead of time. All right, so that makes 38. Everything's positive, so no choices but positives. All right, last one here. So hopefully you notice that these are not perfect squares, but these are perfect cubes. You know, 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. 5 times 5 times 5 is 125. This is where we do a little part and then big part. And by little part, I mean a binomial. So I need those 2's and one of these x's here to go up there. And I need the 5's in the back of that. So then remember over here, I do square multiply square. So these pieces that you put up front, these were like the cube roots of these things right here. All right, so now we have to square multiply square. So you need the front part right so that you get the back part right. All right, so when I say square multiply square, for this item right here, I need to square this item right there. So squaring something means multiplying it by itself. So 2x times 2x is 4x squared. Then for this m in the middle, means I'm multiplying these two pieces together. So 2x times 5 is 10x. And for this s back here, square multiply square, I am squaring the back number, so 5 squared is 25. All right, and then remember, as always, you have your SOAP. Your same, opposite, always positive for your signs. So I'm going to put the same sign as I had originally, like this one. I'm going to put the opposite sign next, and the last one is always positive. So there's a quick review of factoring for you so that you can go and do your problems on the side. I'll see you in class. Bye-bye.